Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. I was just talking to Steffi about they call it, what was the word, immortalist philosophy, where but basically it's about like not being scared. Basically, instead of thinking you're going to die all the time and preparing for that, you think you're going to live forever, and you kind of prepare for that. I mean, that's kind of seems silly, not looking both ways, but kind of thing. But they say it's a lot better than preparing for death all day long. That you'll actually get something done.
We call it denial.
Denial.
And let me remind you that denial is not the name of a river in Egypt.
Yeah.
Well, good enough.
So Stan, I was thinking about your father, your dad, actually, and he always seems um, to truly like think that just like that he might die at any time. Is that too much? Realization? No, I mean, should you be preparing for death every
Um,
day?
Isn't that why we're here?
Yeah, where's the happy medium? So you know you're gonna die, and then
Oh.
I guess then you relax.
Strive for the night with every breath. You may wait past day, past death.
There you go.
hmm.
Yeah, the Dharma is really amazing. It just avoids both extremes, and yet it isn't some sort of watered down, kind of like Pollyanna-ish.
Yeah.
It's with full understanding. It's just, yeah, no, it is what it is. And I have to thank Keen. Keen sent me a link to a short video by Zungsar Kensei, and it was, thank you. Yeah, and he had wonderful. He's talking to a Bhutanese group, uh, and so he apologized to his international audience because he's going to give some Bhutanese examples, but you can figure it out. He said, and he said, it's changing right now. Dietary habits in Bhutan. He is. I think he was born in Bhutan himself, but he said, basically the Bhutanese were known to be big rice eaters. They'd have rice for breakfast, then they'd have rice for their morning snack, then they'd have rice for lunch, then they'd have rice for their afternoon tea, then they'd have a big rice for dinner. And he was saying, and so it's like, you know, that rice, that's the basic thing, and that's what's important. Without that, nothing's happening. But at the same time, can I have a little salt? Can I have a little sugar? Can I have a little chili in my rice? And he says, so our mind is like rice. Guru Rinpoche's mind, it's natural mind, and in Mahamudra they actually say the natural mind. But of course, that's not our ordinary, delusive thinking mind, but nonetheless, natural mind. But somehow that's not enough. We need to have a little spice in there. Human beings are that way. In order to discover, it's like that verse that I read Sunday from the Norpa Rinpoche was quoting, by following the elephant tracks, the elephant is found. So human beings, we need that. And he said the challenge as a teacher is that, you start out, well, yeah, just the rice, just telling you your ordinary mind. It's not enough for people. No one has confidence that that's really true. So you give them a seed syllable, a letter hung or a letter hri for Guru Rinpoche. And then, oh, that's okay. And I notice Gar Rinpoche, that's what he tells people, focus on that seed syllable. The whole world is in that seed syllable. That's enough. And so you have confidence. And yet there's something there that you can focus on. And then he says, all right. And so then maybe we got a letter hri, and then, ooh, maybe I'll have a dorje too. And then maybe I'll have a katvanga, and maybe I'll have a skull cup. And then, maybe I'll have Guru Rinpoche, and maybe I'll have his hat. And then, oh boy, I'm going to have a whole host of demons behind him because that's looking pretty good. He says the danger is that people get lost in that and they forget about the natural mind. But for a teacher, the challenge is if you don't have that, it's a very, very rare student that has sort of the depth of that depth of faith, confidence, and realization. I mean, there are people, from tremendous karma who can have natural kind of realizations, and that's fine. But how do you communicate to other people? You just stand around and be wonderful yourself? I mean, there's a self-liberation kind of thing, but again, Buddhahood is bodhicitta. Buddhahood is liberation of all. And so this is what's so amazing, because it's I mean, realization, of course, a wonderful thing, but the Dharma provides a path as realized. I mean, as we notice, Lama Tarchin would talk about bodhisattvas in training, and then the high bodhisattvas, and we see that in the teaching that Kempo is doing all the time about the bhumis, the 5 paths, and then in that 3rd path, where the first bhumi is attained. But from there, isn't that interesting that it goes farther, 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 all the way up to the 10th bhumi? It's not a business about just retiring and saying, gee, I'm fine now. I'll just live off my Social Security or something. So the ongoing and the guidance, and which is important. It's like Kempo says, I think it's not until the 8th bhumi that the kleshas, the emotional afflictions, are gone. And then all that's left to work on is like the detritus of that, this solid kind of separate view that we have, like an objective view of phenomenon. So the mental obscurations, jnana avarya, I believe it is in Sanskrit, but don't ever quote my Sanskrit. So anyway, I thought this was really wonderful because you see the practicality of the Dharma, although that it's true that Dorje is our true nature too, but still, we start out thinking of it as a separate thing, and you can get all lost and all sorts of stuff without the guidance of the teachings, and a teacher, of course, prevents that from happening. So when someone gets it said, for instance, in this great Jashu, this great Chinese Zen master, deeply enlightened, and he was the one who gave this koan to his students. Does a dog have a Buddha nature or not? And the student wrestles with that, just focusing on the nub of that. No. And so it comes from this interaction that Joshua had with a student. A student came to him and says, did a dog have a Buddha nature or not? And Joshua said, mu, or wu, I think in Chinese, mu in Japanese, which means no. And of course, it just stunned the student because he had been thoroughly trained in bodhicitta and all the teachings and everything. Of course, everything has Buddha nature. And here's this enlightened man who says the dog doesn't have Buddha nature. What the hell does that mean? So it threw him into just a complete not knowing. And of course, when we have a tremendous not knowing, it means we've abandoned all our concepts. So it's actually a very skillful method and can be used in meditation too. But to make it even more complicated, there are all sorts of teachings of stories of Joshua. Some people said, did the dog have a Buddha nature? And he would say no. But there were other people asked if a dog had a Buddha nature. He said yes. A great teacher is responding spontaneously, I believe, to the needs of the student. It's not speaking from some sort of, conceptual framework, some sort of academic right and wrong. It's limitless compassion. And you can sort of see that, It's like in the Lotus Sutra, the image of us, of our life, is like children in a burning house. The house is on fire and they don't even know it. And they're all going to be consumed. And the father sees the children and says, come out, come out, come out. And they're all just involved in playing with their toys, ignoring their father, and they're in this state of just extreme peril. And so what does the father do? He says, hey, look, I got a deer cart here. Look at this cutely painted cart, little deer pulling it. Isn't that cool? And so one of the kids goes, yeah, comes running out for it. Another one says, I've got an elephant cart here. And he extracts all the children. Now, were those things lies? To some sort of person who's like really kind of, I don't know what, rigid mind, he wasn't telling the truth. So therefore, I guess you should go to hell or something, I mean, you can see how we're lost in our conceptual frameworks. And that framework alone isn't enough to get us out of any kind of situation. So we're just so fortunate, that the depths of these teachings. And when Dzongtsar Khyentse was teaching like that, I just thought, this is just, this is so wonderful that this is accessible to us. I thought when Kempo was teaching last weekend, about the lineage teachings, from Vajradhara to Tilopa to Naropa, Marpa to Milarepa to Gampopa to Pagmo-Drupa to Jigten Sumgun. And the fact that this didn't die, just passing, have you ever played that remember the telephone game you played as a kid? You'd have a group of kids, like 10 kids in a circle, and the teacher would whisper a phrase to one of the kids, and you had to pass it on to the next kid whispering. And then how it got corrupted. This is human beings, and it's nothing negative there. It's just the fact, right? We get things wrong, or it's colored by our own desires, or lack of hearing, or too sharp hearing. I mean, that this was transmitted like that to Jigten Sumgun, and they didn't lose anything. I mean, I don't know. We're just extremely fortunate that this is still accessible at all. And when I see someone like Garam Pache and the Drigun Chabgan, I mean, it's just, and what they've been through. I mean, you go into prison camp for 20 years. It would seem to be kind of a bump in your career. So everything, gets transformed. And of course, that's what we're doing. We're visualizing ourselves as a Buddha. We are transforming ourselves. And it's valid. So that takes some degree of faith, and confidence, because, and many, many pitfalls. But this is the whole point of the emphasis again and again and again and again and again on bodhicitta, this vast loving kindness and compassion. It's like, Khenpo Sherab would say, in America, we'd meet so many people who were talking, they just wanted to do Dzogchen, And he said, Dzogchen is very easy, he said. You can just sit there with your mouth open, gaping up at the stars. He said, but for me, I practice bodhicitta, and that's very hard. Because you see all the time, where you're thinking about me. You're not thinking about the other person at all. And of course, that is Dzogchen. Then you're seeing how vast Dzogchen is, that you can't do that. We just call it bodhicitta, that's all. So, yeah, forgive me my prolixity here, but I very much appreciated that video, Keen. Thank you for sending that. Yeah, he knows the Western audience too, and expresses it. So we'll have to play again. We haven't played any movies for a while, but that movie that won an award from the Canadian Film Association or somebody. My Perfect Teacher, is it? Yeah, it's the title of Kunzang Jamila Jalung. It's the book that was written about Patrul Rinpoche's teachings. The Words of My Perfect Teacher. That's right. Words of My Perfect Teacher. And following Dzogchen Khyentse around. One of his students is a filmmaker, quite a skilled woman. And she's talking about her interactions with him and what's going on. And they go to a soccer match in Germany where a bunch of British hooligan students, fans are there. And then he takes everyone to Bhutan, and the contrast between West and East is, really something, but really helpful, and beautiful music on top of it. Okay, so forgive my... We'll give the mic back to our Wednesday.
All right, White Tara, Sadhana, take one. I think there's only going to be one take. Namo Sanje Jotso Kungo Chomden Mar Dakdro Kyapchi Jangjub Semgedo Namo Sanje Jotso Kungo Chomden Mar Dakdro Kyapchi Jangjub Semgedo. Namo, in the Mother Victress, the embodiment of all the Buddhas, Dharma, and Sangha, I and all beings take refuge and give rise to bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment. Om Svabhava Shuddha Sarvadharma Svabhava Shuddhoham. Bottom of page 2. I appear as the noble lady whose heart radiates light throughout the 10 directions, transforming into an indestructible protective sphere. Vajra Raksha Raksha. Once again, white light radiates to the Buddha fields of the 10 directions and invites the transcendent victress mother and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I prostrate with reverence and make inner, outer, and secret offerings. I confess all misdeeds and rejoice in all virtue. For the benefit of all beings, I beseech you to remain always. I dedicate all virtue entirely to perfect enlightenment. The field of accumulation dissolves into me. May all beings have happiness, freedom from all suffering, and unbiased equanimity. From within the state of emptiness appears the sacred land, the pure realm of the Akanishta Buddha field. Within Akanishta is a palace beautified by immeasurable precious woodland groves and exquisite garlands of Utpala flowers. In the middle of the palace is a Tam syllable in the center of a lotus and moon atop a magnificent jeweled throne. Light emanates from the Tam, accomplishing the twofold purpose of others and myself. I then transform into the beautiful, radiant, white, wish-fulfilling chakra. My right hand rests in the gesture of supreme generosity, and my left hand holds a white lotus flower. Seated in cross-legged posture and endowed with the major and minor marks of a Buddha, my body radiates rainbow-colored lights. I am adorned with the 8 jeweled ornaments and 5 silken garments. Above my crown is Amitabha, and in my 3 places are the syllables Om, Ah, Hum. From the white Tam syllable in my heart, light radiates, inviting the wisdom being resembling myself and the empowerment deities from the realm of Akanishta. They merge non-dually, and empowerment is bestowed, and blessings are sealed. Ja, Hum, Bam, Ho, Abhishekate Samaya, Shriye, Hum. Om Vajra Argam Padyam Pushpam Nupam Alokam Gandham Nividyam Shapta Praticha Soha. Homage and praise to the exalted Mother Tara, who liberates from all misfortune, and at whose lotus feet all devas and asuras bow their crowns in reverence. In the heart of the transcendent victress is a white wheel. At its hub is a Tam with Om and Ha syllables to its right and left. The Tam is encircled by my name or the names of those for whom I am dedicating the practice, and by the longevity mantra. At the 8 spokes of the wheel are the 8 white seed syllables starting in front and circling clockwise. Their light gathers the blessings and power of everything animate and inanimate in samsara and nirvana. As this light dissolves back into me, I attain the supreme state of a knowledge holder with power over life. In the wheel's 3 outer rings, the vowels circle clockwise, the consonants circle counterclockwise, and in the outermost ring, the Yedharma mantra circles clockwise. As they rotate, rays of white, yellow, red, blue, green, and purple light shine forth, fill my body, and emanate outward in spheres. Between the spheres are fresh blossoms of Utpala flowers, whose radiance produces the 4 activities: longevity, glory, and strength. Om Basumati Shri Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayur Jnanam pushtim guru soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Dure Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Yer Jnana Munye Pushtim Guru Soham. Om Tare Tu Pushtim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayur Jnana Unye Pushtim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayur Jnana Unye Pushtim Guru Soha. Page 10. The mandala before me is a perfectly arrayed Buddha realm, lovely to behold. Upon a radiant Udamara flower sits a transcendent conqueress, whose major and minor marks blaze with splendor. She has one face and 7 eyes. Her right hand is in the mudra of generosity, and her left holds an Utpala flower. She is adorned with silken garments and precious jewels. Above her crown sits Amitabha, and at her 3 places are Om, Ah, Hum. Light radiates from the Tom at her heart, inviting the wisdom being resembling herself from Akanishta, who then is inseparably absorbed. Om, transcendent victress, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, when I invite you through the power of undivided faith, please come here and care for me with love and compassion. Om, Arya Dare Vajra Samaya Jatishtalan. Om, to the noble assembly I offer real and imaginary substances, outer, inner, secret, and suchness offerings, water to drink and bathe, the 5 sense pleasures, flowers, incense, lamps, fragrance, food, and music, the attributes of royalty, the auspicious symbols, the prosperity and glory of gods and humans. I offer all these as oceans of Samantabhadra offering clouds. Om Aryatare Saparivara Argam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Saparivara Padyam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Saparivara Pushpam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Saparivara Dupam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Saparivara Alokam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Saparivara Gandham Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Saparivara Nevedyam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Saparivara Shapta Praticha Soha. Rupa Shapta Gandham Rasha Sparshanam Ratna Mangala Puja Ho. I imagine Mount Meru and the 4 continents and subcontinents with their surrounding enclosure, the divine realms, the billionfold universe ornamented by Vairochana, everything owned and unowned. I offer all this to the transcendent victress, Ratna Mandala Puja Megala Ahum. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun, and the moon. By visualizing it as a Buddha realm and offering it, may all beings enjoy the perfect purity of this realm. Exalted Mother Tara and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas abiding in the 10 directions and 3 times, I prostrate to you with complete sincerity. I offer real and imagined flowers, incense, oil lamps, fragrance, food, music, and the like. gathering of the Exalted Mother, please accept them. I confess the 10 non-virtues, the 5 grave acts with immediate result, and every misdeed of the mind controlled by afflictions from beginningless time until now. I rejoice in the merit of all virtues accumulated in the 3 times by the hearers, solitary realizers, bodhisattvas, ordinary beings, and the like. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the greater, lesser, and common vehicles according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings. Until samsara is empty, please do not enter nirvana, but gaze with compassion upon sentient beings drowning in an ocean of pain. May all the merit I have amassed become the cause of awakening, and may I soon become a glorious guide of transient beings. Om Svabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Svabhava Shuddho Om. I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Homage Dara with heroic eyes like lightning instantaneous, sprung from opening stamens of the Lord of 3 worlds, tear-born lotus. Homage he whose face combines 100 autumn moons at fullest, blazing with light rays resplendent as 1,000-star collection. Homage golden blue on lotus, water-born and hand-adorned, giving effort, calm austerities, patience, meditation, her sphere. Homage crown of Tathagatas, actions triumph without limit. Relight on my conqueror's children, having reached every perfection. Homage filling with tutare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with her feet the 7 worlds, able to draw forth all beings. Homage worshipped by the all-lords, Chakra, Agni, Brahma, Maru, honored by the hosts of spirits, corpse raisers, Gandharvas, Yakshas. Homage with her trait and pace sounds, destroying those magic diagrams, her feet pressing left out right in, blazing in a raging fire blaze. Homage to a very dreadful destroyer of Mara's champions, she with frowning lotus visage, who is slayer of all enemies. Homage at the heart, her fingers adorn her with 3 jewel mudra. Light ray masses all excited, all directions wheels adorn her. Homage, she's so joyous, radiant, crown emitting garlands of light. Mirthful laughing with tutare, subjugating Mara's devas. Homage she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking, frowning with her home sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage crown adorned with grass and moon, all ornaments most shining. Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage she mid wreath ablaze like eon ending fire abiding. Thrice triumphant joy surrounds you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage she who strikes the ground with her palm and with her foot beats it, scowling with the letter whom the 7 levels she does conquer. Homage happy, virtuous, peaceful, she whose field is peace nirvana. She endowed with Om and Svaha, destroyer of the great evil. Homage she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder. Freeze with human knowledge mantras, arrangement of the 10 letters. Homage to Re with seed letter, of the shape of syllable hum. Stamping shakes the 3 worlds, Meru, Mandara, and Vindhya. Homage holding in her hand the hair marked moon of Deva lake form, with twice spoken Tara and Pe, totally dispelling poison. Homage he whom gods and their kings and the Kinnaras do honor. Armored in all joyful splendor, she dispels bad dreams and conflicts. Homage she whose 2 eyes bright with radiance of sun and full moon. With twice Hara and Tutare, she dispels severe contagion. Homage full of liberating power by the set of 3 natures, destroys hosts of spirits, Yakshas, and raise corpses supreme to Re. These praises with the rude mantras and prostrations thus are 21. You first formed the resolve to awaken before the victorious ones, you, their noble mother, fulfiller of their awakened activities. O swift and courageous heroine, Sarasvati, treasury of merit, all victorious, Kurukula, Yaksha princess, invincible, conqueror, Tara of the teak forest, queen of the three realms, bestower of wealth, granter of auspiciousness, benevolent heroine, vanquisher of enemy troops, frowning lady, universal pacifier, lady of blazing light, boundless subduer, great peacock lady, indomitable queen, hermit lady, goddess of light rays, obeisance to you. In you, noble Tara, I place my hopes to reach awakening, that I may free all beings from the ocean of samsara. To one who has true devotion to the goddess, a wise person who recites this prayer with faith, who remembers her in the evening and upon arising at dawn, absolute fearlessness will be bestowed. All misdeeds will be pacified and all lower realms utterly conquered, and one will be empowered quickly by 70 million Buddhas. Attaining greatness by this practice, one will arrive at the ultimate state of Buddhahood. By remembering her, even the virulent poison of plants or meat that have been eaten or drunk will be utterly expelled. This prayer completely eliminates the torment of afflictions of negative forces, epidemics, and poisons, even when recited on behalf of others. On reciting it clearly twice, thrice, or 7 times, those who want children will have a child, and those who desire wealth will attain it. All of one's wishes will be fulfilled, all obstacles will cease, and every hindrance will be destroyed. Noble Aryatara, through your compassion, the obscurations of myself and all beings are cleansed, and the 2 accumulations are completed. In every lifetime, may unfavorable conditions arising from the 8 or 10 fears be pacified, and may Dharma practice, activities, and wealth increase. May all beings be liberated from danger and attain Buddhahood like you. In Aryatara's heart is a white tom encircled by the mantra garland. Its radiant light accomplishes the 2-fold purpose and increases life and glory. Tare ture mama ayurjana punye pushtim kuru so. Noble goddess, Mother Tara, you dwell within the realm of the unborn Dharmadhatu Mother. You who bestow happiness on all sentient beings, please protect us from all fears. Unaware that they themselves are Dharmakaya, my mothers wander in samsara with minds controlled by afflictions. Mother Goddess, please protect us. If the Dharma does not truly take birth in our hearts, we will follow verbal conventions and become deceived by erroneous philosophies. Genuine Mother Goddess, please protect us. Having seen the nature of mind, so difficult to realize, we do not habituate it but remain lost in negative activities. Mindful Mother Goddess, please protect us. Due to the habit of dualistic grasping at the mind that is self-arisen, non-dual wisdom, we are bound no matter what we do. Goddess of non-dual mind, please protect us. Although we have dwelt in the ultimate truth, we are unaware of the interdependence of cause and effect. Thus we are blind to the meaning of what is to be known. Omniscient Mother Goddess, please protect us. Even those of us who are disciples cannot see that everything is inseparable from the nature of unelaborated space. Mother of perfect awakening, please protect us. Om Arya Dare Sapariwara Argam Praticha Soha. Om Arya Dare Sapariwara Padyam Praticha Soha. Om Arya Dare Sapariwara Pushpam Praticha Soha. Om Arya Dare Sapariwara Dupam Praticha Soha. Om Arya Dare Sapariwara Alokam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Gandham Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Nevidyam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Shapta Praticha Soha. Homage and praise to the exalted Mother Tara, who liberates from all misfortune and at whose lotus feet all devas and asuras bow their crowns in reverence. Om Aryatare Samaya Manupalaya Aryatare Tanopa Tishtadrita Memawa Suttakaya Memawa Supukaya Memawa Anurakta Memawa Sarvasiddhi Mibrayacha Sarva Karma Sitsame Sitam Triya Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhaga Aryatare mame muncha aryatare bhava maha samaya sato. Om Aryatare Samaya Manubalaya Aryatare Tenopa Tishtadrita Memawa Suttakaya Memawa Supukaya Memawa Anurakta Memawa Sarvasiddhi Mibrayacha Sarva Karma Sitsame Sitam Triya Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavati Aryatare mame muncha Tare Baba Mahasamaya Sato. Om Aryatare Samaya Manubalaya Aryatare Tenopa Tishtadrita Memawa Suttakaya Memawa Supukaya Memawa Anurakta Memawa Sarvasiddhi Mibrayacha Sarva Karma Sitsame Sitam Triya Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavati Aryatare mame muncha Aryatare bhava maha samaya sato. As you have forgiven whatever faults might have occurred due to deficiencies, incompetence, and the confusions in my mind, you will surely bestow true accomplishments on me. Om, please stay here together with this sacred shrine for as long as samsara exists. Remaining here, please bestow good health, vitality, power, and supreme attainments. The wisdom being in front spontaneously departs into space, and the Samaya being dissolves into myself. When gods and humans worship you, you grant them cities like the kingly power of a victory banner's top. May the auspiciousness of the gurus and deities be present. By the virtue of my approach, accomplishment, and veneration, may transient beings quickly accomplish you. Exalted, transcendent Lady of Triumph, Compassionate One, please remove the two veils of endless sentient beings and myself. Let us complete the two accumulations swiftly to reach complete awakening. Until that is achieved in all lifetimes, please remove and pacify at once all obstacles, evil forces, epidemics, and diseases, the various conditions leading to untimely death, bad dreams, ill omens, the 8 fears, and all harm, so that I may experience the highest joys of gods and humans and attain omniscience, expanding and increasing the auspiciousness and perfect goodness of this world and beyond. Let all goals without exception be accomplished effortlessly and spontaneously. May I be diligent in practice, and may the sacred Dharma thrive. Let me gaze at your exquisite face as I continuously practice you. Let me realize the truth of emptiness, and let precious bodhicitta blossom and expand like a waxing moon. When I am born from a divinely beautiful and sacred lotus in the Victorious One's excellent and joyful mandala, may Amitabha, the Buddha of infinite light, directly reveal his prophecy, and may I strive to attain it. O Goddess, whom I have practiced throughout all my lives, Mother of the enlightened deeds of all the 3 times Buddhas, blue-green with 1 face and 2 arms, you are the swift subduer. May the auspiciousness of the Mother holding an Utpala be present. Mother of the victors, Tara, may I and others become just like you in form, retinue, lifespan, pure realm, and excellent noble signs of perfection. By the force of praising and supplicating you, let disease, malevolent spirits, poverty, and quarreling be ceased, and let the Dharma and auspiciousness increase throughout the world and in all directions, wherever I and others dwell. Having discarded physical flaws, you possess the major and minor marks of a Buddha. Having discarded faults of speech, your voice is the melodic birdsong of a Kalavinka. Having discarded faults of the mind, you see all knowable things. O brilliant mother of auspicious glory, may your auspiciousness be with us. Om Jigpa Gekyo Mala Chalo Drashi Babar Mala Chalo Nyensung Gugek Mala Chalo Tori Lamdren Mala Chalo Tag Tu Keki Tong Parde Da dung du je kyab tu sum. Om Nyingma ge kyo ma la chak chalo. Trashi babar ma la chak chalo. Nyen song go ge ma la chak chalo. Tori landren ma la chak chalo. Tag tu ke tong mar de da dung du je kyab tu sum. Om Nyingma ge kyo ma la chak chalo. Trashi babar ma la chak chalo. Nyen song go ge ma la chak chalo. Tori Lamdren Mala Chak Chalo Tag Tu Keki Tong Parde Da Dung Du Je Kyab Tu Sum. Homage to she who protects from the 8 fears. Homage to she who blazes in auspicious glory. Homage to she who blocks to the gate to lower realms. Homage to she who guides on the path to the higher realms. You are my constant companion. I pray you will eternally protect me with compassion. O Mother of the 3 times Buddhas, who loves all sentient beings as a mother loves her child, may I become free from the iron shackles of self-grasping, and may my activities that benefit beings equal yours. Thank you. Always feels great.
No, I know it's self-serving. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm just like, I need to go to the bathroom longer. I don't want to go there. Yeah, seriously, it's just like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, I'm gonna eat these hot dogs. Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, just the box shots for being an idiot. It's so deep.
So I think the writer, Edgar Allan Poe,
Oh yes, yeah,
he
right.
had something he called the power of the perverse. The power of the perverse. He said it's when you're standing on the edge of a cliff, and you're looking down, and it's terrifying, But then the thought comes, I wonder what it'd be like if I jumped. That thought's there. I mean, we are. This is our delusive mind, And the funny thing is that I believe it's because we're actually looking for great bliss and happiness. But it's just we don't know the method. I think it's the greatness of the Dharma. It gives you method. I mean, like for the first time, it's like, wow. Instead of just this naked kind of wanting, which is not bad in itself, but the whole world wants happiness. And look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. There's just total confusion. I mean, we are in a deluded, illusory state. And we want to find some refuge in that, in our self-projections in that. It's just so amazing. Yeah, right. Right. Because there are different levels of confusion. I mean, there is confusion that is just lost in the afflictions, but there's confusion of not seeing reality as it actually is, seeing it in that. So that's what's hard, because when we hear the word confusion, it's like the word ignorance. We think it means stupidity. And so there's a natural kind of knee-jerk reaction. If you tell someone that they're ignorant, they immediately say, well, no, I'm not confused. I'm not ignorant. But it's like I had a client today who was talking about the difficulties with his ex. They're fighting over stuff in family court. And they were in therapy together. And I don't know how it came up, but she yelled at the therapist, "I'm not angry." That's human being. That's what we do. That's what we do. You're right. Once you entangle yourself with the thoughts, but that perception, there's no confusion there. You're seeing the alarm clock. In that instant, there's no confusion at all. It's just when the thoughts stop, like, oh, I'm late, or I'm on time, or I wish that would stop. That's loud. The emotional reactions to stuff, and we're so reactionary. We're so invested in ourselves that we are oddly taking ourselves from the pure experience of our own life. We're living in a made up life that we do with thoughts and all of this. And that's why we practice it, because it really is hard to say that, And I think too, that's why I think study can help, because, think of the wrathful deities. Well, first of all, think of the Buddha leaving his home. Wife and kids. And it's even more than that, because within the caste system, he had obligations. They were dharma with a small d, but they were obligation. They were like your role in life. It was like being complete negative person. So he had that kind of, the bodhicitta was so great that he would risk all of that. That's truly amazing. We don't understand that. We think, oh, the Buddha left his home. Well, everybody does at age 18. Yeah. His father wanted to disinherit him, Thought, but I take that further, because when we have, these pictures of like a wrathful Buddha, right? And we think it's kind of cool. We throw the picture on the internet. Look how this is cool. I like this. This is vivid, artistic, all these things. But we don't understand. That's your deluded mind looking at bodhicitta. That's what you see. You see everything negative, scary, because it's threatening, absolutely scary to the clinging to the self. But we don't understand it like that. When we see someone who maybe is projecting or is kind of some pure experience, and if somehow threatens our ego, we don't see them as a Buddha. We see them as just a horrible person or whatever. So what I'm saying is that with pure vision, everything becomes pure, workable. And, it's so extremely subtle and pervasive. But that's why they teach again and again and again. The mind of the Buddha is limitless love and compassion. And you don't want to be fooled by appearances, But nonetheless, I'm just saying that when we study and we learn sort of the meaning of this, then we have a better appreciation. That's you should be scared of that that Buddha. It's totally scary. But we just, we remove ourselves from it and just think of it as an image, or expressing some things that we like maybe. But it's not threatening the things that we're attached to. We keep our attachment going. I know the wrathful deity. It's a way of self. It's unbelievable what we do. So this is what's so helpful, though. Again, when you hear like the teachings, like last weekend, or certainly when Gar Rinpoche is teaching, reading his book, no matter how much arrogance you have, or intellectual arrogance, you read all this and you're humbled. You're just humbled. And the same thing in the presence of Gar Rinpoche, you feel like you see your imperfections. And that's really, really helpful, because the ordinary person is not. They're projecting those projections on everybody else. And they're going to fix those other people out there. That's their path to purity. whereas it's right in right in front of them, but they're not looking within. And it's our habit. And what can you say? This is the situation of samsara. So that's why it's just extremely rare we've come across here. Sure, sure. But I mean, think of that. The mandala itself. I think Garucha again is a genius because if it gives you something to focus on, like the seed syllable, but eventually, you've come accustomed to that seed syllable, and there's enough sort of repetition, whatever, and then you can sort of get the feeling that it's within, the Buddha body, and then gradually all the different sugars and spice and chilies become apparent too. But the important thing is that you can have confidence from the get-go. I mean, it was the founder of the Vajrayana in Japan who said, in this letter Hong is the entire universe. Entire universe. Garampa says a similar kind of thing. So you can have confidence in that, and that's what's good. It's not just some object of meditation, but it's your true nature. Yeah. 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 It's very remarkable. Very remarkable. No one's making it up, I mean, they're transmitting, and that's such a humble thing, too. And, of course, that's where we gain our own merit. I mean, for us, humble as we be, speaking of myself, you're involved in this kind of transmission to people. This is wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Thanks all. Thank you. Umzela.